Hello everyone and welcome to the Change Makers, our series of open conversation on the topic of innovation in the industry of stainless steel. Today we're going to explore the unforeseen challenges of e-mobility. The environmental transition imposes significant transformations in the mobility sectors, and we will see that all industry players are called upon to contribute their expertise to accelerate the implementation of new solutions. In terms of materials, stainless steel proves to tick all the boxes in many applications. To discuss with us, we are pleased to welcome Gwenaëlle Lemeur, Director of New Business in Mobility and Transport, and Charles David, New Business Advisor. Welcome, both of you.
Hello.
Hello, thank you.
Thank you for being with us. So, Aperam plays a major role in the current changes in the mobility and transport industries, thanks to its expertise in material science. Gwenaëlle, before we start, could you please remind us what exactly is Aperam?
So, Aperam is a stainless steel and alloys manufacturer with production in South America and in Europe, with operation in more than 40 countries. And Aperam is also well known as a sustainable material provider. And we have, for example, low carbon footprint material. And Aperam is also well known for a recycling business unit.
Yes, indeed, a true global leader with a true environmental commitment and roadmap. So, Gwenaëlle, what's your mission and your background?
Well, I am Director of New Business in Mobility and Transport. This position was created at Aperam to place Aperam as a preferred supplier for new mobility application. And prior to this role, I was working in the automotive industry in a big car maker, and I led innovative strategic projects. So I still have the opportunity to continue to work on the future of mobility and transport.
Yes, so coming from a big car manufacturer, you should be used to developments involving big technology leaps. What was your first impression when joining the steelmaking sector, which might be a bit less technology oriented?
Oh, it's very interesting that you say that, because before joining Aperam, I had exactly the same impression. But having worked for several years at Aperam, I can tell you that we are really focused on innovation, and we have a big capacity of innovation. Did you know, for example, that Aperam has developed a process with plants to extract nickel from the soil to use it as a raw material for stainless steel? And that's not the only thing we do, of course, but we try to focus and to improve on our process, but also on the final use of our products. So to do that, we need to be aware of all technical advances in many areas.
And I guess that mobility is one of those areas. Can you give us an example of what you do?
Yes, of course. If we speak about battery for electric vehicle, for instance, we have developed two special concepts which are less expensive, less heavy, safer, and with higher energy density than carbon steel and aluminium. And so that's not the only thing we do. To give you another example, we are currently working also on solid-state battery, which is an emerging technology.
So your mission and Aperam's field are mainly linked with mobility electrification, or are there other current topics?
Well, we are not just working on electrification. We work also on hydrogen mobility and also on decarbonation of transport, for instance. We focus on our customer pain points, which can be on established technology or emerging technologies.
Mm-hmm. So it's all about innovation, mobility revolution, and answering customer pain points and expectations, of course. How do you manage to combine all of that?
Well, I'm not alone, of course. I have set up a team with specialists in coming from the automotive industry, but also specialists coming from the R&D and specialists from the metallurgy, like Charles, who is here today with us.
Thank you, Gwenaëlle. Charles, indeed, I give the floor to you now. That is a good transition. Can you tell us more about yourself and explain to us what you do?
Yes, of course. So I'm mainly focusing on the electrification of mobility. My main role is, I like to say, take highly technical topics and transform this into our business offer. And I have a PhD in metallurgy and corrosion. I have worked in Aperam's R&D in the cold rolling process, then also in the central sales team. And I am lucky since last year to be part of the mobility new business team of Aperam. And as I said, I work on electrification, but it's important to say that this includes business that are not only about stainless steel.
Mm-hmm. That's right. It's interesting because when talking about Aperam, indeed we hear very often about stainless steel, and we don't say enough about alloys. So you are working also on alloys.
Yes, sort of, because when you say alloys and Aperam in the same sentence, very often we think about nickel alloys because Aperam is a major leader in that field, but we also produce magnetic alloys and components, and this is where I'm working right now. We produce these alloys and components for segments like power electronics and also electric motors, so that's what I'm doing, and that's what the challenge is.
Can you be more specific on the materials and their role, as you mentioned?
Of course. So I just mentioned electric motors. Aperam produces very high added value alloys for this. We have the iron cobalt grades, which are called AFK, and they are an emerging alternative to the traditional iron silicon grades that are used to produce the rotor and the stator. But our grades have the advantage of allowing an additional power density of more than 20%. So this is huge. And then we also have a leading position in developing stainless steels for the EV battery housing. And we really believe that stainless steel, because thanks to all the work that is being done, will become a must-have in EV architecture in the future. So I mentioned the electric motor, the battery, and then there's a third pillar in car electrification, which is power electronics. And there, Aperam is also playing an important role because, as I said, we have the magnetic alloys, the magnetic components. We produce magnetic cores, which are essential for power electronics to work.
That's very clear, and it seems a bit challenging. Thank you very much, Charles. One last question for you, Gwenaëlle. What are the main challenges you're facing right now?
Well, I would say shake-up received IDs. We want to show that our material can bring the right solution for electrification, hydrogen mobility, and decarbonation of transport. And we want to show that we can support our customers to make their breakthrough.
Well, Gwenaëlle, Charles, it was a pleasure to have you here. Thank you very much for highlighting this very important topic. You made us understand how Aperam is playing its role in the mobility and transport revolution. There is so much being done behind the scene and so much expertise behind this material question. So thank you very much. See you soon for new episodes of our saga, The Change Makers. If you want to have more information about this topic of mobility, please contact Gwenaëlle or Charles. Thank you.